Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist, football, basketball, baseball, handicapping show from Dom DeMarco's here in Las Vegas, 9785 West Charleston. And I got to tell you, yesterday we had an event there. It's called Hot Dog Day. And we had about 40 people there, all gamblers from both ends of the street. And the food was good and the camaraderie was good and great conversations. We had a good time for about 3 hours or so. Chip Chirimbes is here today. Chipper and I have been working together for about 50 years. And Greg De Palma, we've been working together for a few years. And Greg puts together all the shows on Proline TV. He knows a boatload of stuff about every sport. I don't know how he does all that. And
not the WNBA.
Well, we're gonna teach you.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
And he works closely with Our Lads. Greg, tell us a little bit about Our Lads. Most of the people that watch this show don't know about Our Lads, what they do.
Well, they're a scouting service that's been around for several decades. The owner of the site used to be a professional scout in the NFL, and then he decided to open up his own scouting business. And they're famous for having the best depth charts in the industry because with his connections within the league, he's able to get all of this information whenever there's a transaction, just as any other team in the league would. And so as soon as the information is gathered, he updates every depth chart. And so he gets a ton of traffic because of that. And then he puts out these draft guides every year. He just put out the draft guide a couple of weeks ago. One of the best draft guides still available. I work with that guide. I write for the guide as well. And I've been working with them for about almost 20 years, podcasting and then doing some writing as well. So it's gaining in popularity, of course, even more so because of today, everybody's interested in the draft. But everybody wants a great depth chart because of fantasy football is getting so big that's where the depth charts come in handy.
Yeah, before fantasy football, that probably didn't matter to a lot of people, but that has really grown. Chipper, do you play fantasy football?
No, not at all, Jim, because, I just, it's sort of like having conflict against yourself at times. And I don't like playing totals in the same game I have a side because one team scores no matter what, there's something negative happening. So, I don't do many futures, props. I'm old school, Jim. I'm just a side or a total for the most part.
That's funny because when I do, I like correlated things. I look at a game and I'll say, I think just working it out in my mind. This is an example. I think this team is going to go deep on this club, and I think they can score a couple touchdowns. Right. And I'm looking at a 7.5 point underdog here, and I think both of these teams can both do the same thing. So I like this game over and I like the dog. So I kind of play that out in my mind, and it's a kind of a correlated, and you might call it a correlated parlay, which it is. But I mean, some books don't take correlated parlays, but most of them, I mean, in the old days, nobody did. But now I think some still do. But so I might go in and say, okay, I'm going to have the Lions plus 7.5 and over 50. Right. I do pretty well with them. I get a feel for what's going to happen in the game. And, of course, sometimes they come out and they just run the ball and it never goes over.
But I'm always so conflicted when I'm in that situation, Jim, really. And I for the most part, would rather stick with the side. But, like you said, some bookmakers won't take those correlated parlays. So
that's very true.
Hold on a sec. I got to get rid of this.
It's
Jim. I got a phone call.
I thought that was Jim.
That was me.
You, Jim?
Yeah, that was me.
You're such a busy man.
Oh, every time I get on a podcast, the phone rings. I swear to God, it's unbelievable. But Greg, what do you want to? I mean, I know you don't like. Greg doesn't really like the NBA. Doesn't like the WNBA. He's a very particular guy.
I used to like the NBA. I used to. But not any longer.
It's a different game now, Greg. I mean, it's, really totally different game.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, in the old days, you'd have Larry Bird that he wouldn't want to go to the bench for 5 minutes in a game. And now you got guys that want to take days and weeks off. It's like a whole different game. But anyway, there's some stuff that's been going on. Explain this, Chipper. Atlanta caved in at the end against the Knicks.
Right.
Orlando caved in the second half against Detroit, and then again that was in game 6, and then in game 7 they didn't show up, and then of course we had the other night the Knicks just ran over the 76ers. We've had so many of these teams they don't show up at all.
Yeah. You know, the Knicks have won 4 in a row by like 40 points. I mean, they've really just been crushing everybody. We had 2 series where teams were down 3-1 and came back. You know, the 76ers as well as
Detroit.
You know, I'm still amazed at the way Embiid was able to enforce his will on the Celtics in Game 5, and I just think it gave everyone else so much confidence. Maxey and even George is starting to play some basketball for the Sixers, but the Knicks right now, Hart did a great job on, who was it, Landon from Atlanta? You know, Atlanta it was really emerging, and I was kind of surprised the way the Knicks really handled them in that series. And I think a lot goes to Josh Hart's defense.
It's really hard to tell. Are the Knicks really that good, that hot, that unbeatable at this point, or are these teams just collapsing from the pressure of being in the playoffs? I mean, you have to give some credit to the Knicks, but then you don't know how much. But
2 weeks ago, they were down 2-1, and everyone's saying, what's wrong with them? And now they're the favorite in the East. They're the top seed left.
And they should be the favorite.
Yeah, and, you know, they're deep. They're pretty balanced, and they're deep. You know, I hate to, start rooting for them. It's only been since 1973 they've won anything. But, you know, I think this Cleveland-Detroit series is really interesting. Harden now, you know, it all falls on the Harden again. I mean, here we are, every playoff series, every year, and every postseason. The guy comes up with great numbers, averaging 29, 30 points in the regular season. Is he going to disappoint once again? He's been one of the most disappointing postseason players in the history of the NBA.
He's never won a championship.
No. And I don't think he's gotten out of the first round. I mean,
you're really right. And they almost didn't get out of the first round in this one when they were a pretty heavy favorite in every game.
Donovan Mitchell hasn't gotten out of the first round yet either. So this is a new experience for both of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Detroit. I like Cleveland here, Jim. I really do. I think the lines I saw 2.5. Now it moved to 3, and I've seen 3.5. But it's like they're the unlikely suspect to me. You know, I mean,
you like Cleveland?
Yeah, I do. I posted them.
Okay, well, they have experience, and they have some age, and they have Harden is kind of an old style basketball player. He's not a young kid. He doesn't put up a lot of speed out there anymore. But I mean, here's a guy that used to score 50 points a game regularly. And he knows the game. He knows how to play. He is older, and he definitely does not take care of himself. I mean, this guy, he reminds me of a guy I used to know. And his name was, I can't think. It was CC was his initials, and he'd be out every night. He would be out every night till 4:00 in the morning.
That's it. It's got to be. Yeah.
That's Harden. But he can still play, but I don't know that he brings the type of energy that you need these days. I don't know that, you know, who the hell's going to stop Cade Cunningham? I mean, this guy is he's unbelievable.
Well, Jim, you know how to me, I'm liking Cleveland because they look so unlikely. You know what I'm saying? There's kind of disappointing season. I mean, they end up with Harden in the playoffs, so they're relying on him, Jim. They're really putting everything on him, and he's going to be the key.
They made the trade, and when they made the trade, they basically said, "Harden, take us to the promised land."
Yeah, exactly. Or not. Exactly. That's what I think.
I mean, I think it was a bad bet when you bet on a guy that's never accomplished any of that in his whole career.
No, I mean, his track record's nothing that is not commendable at all, right? I mean,
that's right, nothing.
No.
I'm a little afraid of it. I agree with you though. Taking 4 in the first game to me looks like a right choice. It could be one of those. You know, every home team's going to be like a 3 or 4 point favorite, and that's the type of series that a lot of times leans to the dogs doing very well with straight up upset wins. And then, of course, you got the total opposite situation with the Lakers and OKC. You got OKC 15.5-point favorite over the Lakers, which is unbelievable. But the Lakers are led by a guy that we all know, 41, 42-year-old LeBron James. I don't know how the hell he does this, but he's out there and he looks damn good. I mean, no,
Jim, I think he can do anything he wants. If he gets the ball at the top of the key, if he misses, he misses, but he's going to get his shot if he wants it.
And he's still got enough quickness. He actually follows the shot, which is something we were all taught to do, but nobody does it. But he does it. And
we're talking about LeBron James, I assume.
Yes, I am. OKC is an amazing team, clearly the favorite to win it all this year, and should be the favorite. Now, Jim,
I think the Lakers are 0-4 and 0-4 against the number against this team during the year.
And that was with Luka.
Yeah.
Part of the time it was with Luka.
Yeah.
Now he is not there.
I took, even though I don't follow the NBA, I listen to you guys, so I pick up things. Obviously, I should. And last week I went ahead and put money on OKC, because OKC, remember we were talking about them. I asked you whether or not you thought that was a good price. They were like minus 120 as the favorite to win the championship.
I thought it was a very good price. Yes.
And so when you said that, I said, you know what? All right, well, I'm not a hauler like you guys, so I'm not going to put up big money, or I can't afford to. So what I did was, to compensate, I really feel strongly about Colorado in the NHL. And so I did a parlay. I did a parlay, championship parlay with the OKC and Colorado, both to win the championship. I got almost 5-1, 4.5 to 1.
When did you bet this?
Last week, a week ago. Actually, it was probably Friday. Okay. Because now it's down to, if you do it now, it's plus 373, because Colorado has a 1-0 lead now in their series. So that's gone down a little bit. But still, even 373, I think, is still a good play if you want to go ahead and take something like that. Because again, now instead of having to go just minus 120 in OKC, which is now up to, I think, minus 150, that you can just, again, that's if you feel strongly as well in hockey. And I do. I just, the favorite in the East, Carolina, has gotten swept. I'm like in the last 3 playoff game series clinching series for them the last several years. I think they've been in the conference finals the last few years. They've been swept each time. They're not as competitive. The East is nowhere near as good as the West in hockey. And so you got a series right now going on between Colorado and Minnesota that I think the winner of that series is going to win the Stanley Cup. And so that's why I think it's not a bad idea to go ahead and do something like that.
Well, I don't think Chip or I follow hockey as much as you do. But sounds right.
I'll give you an example, Jim. I gave under on the Vegas game the other night, and it was under 5.5. And fortunately, I was able to grab a 6. Score was 2-0 with 8 minutes to go in the game. And with 4 minutes to go in the game, it was 4-2. I couldn't believe that the rash of goals that came within 4 minutes. So we can get beat anywhere, Jim.
Yeah, there's always a way to lose your money. And if
have you been to a hockey game, Jim? Have you been to a hockey game lately, Jim?
I've went to 2 in my life. No, 3. Once in Montreal, once in Vancouver, Canada, and
where my favorite team resides.
That's it. What's
Jim,
that?
you were at the Forum?
Where my favorite.
Yes.
Oh. Well, you picked some really good spots.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen a home game yet?
No, I've never been to a Vegas home team.
Jim, it's like a showtime.
I'm not really a hockey. I didn't grow up around hockey. I really didn't play the game. Understand the game. I still don't understand it for everything. But I was in Canada. I was running from the law, and all that. So I'm just kidding. but Montreal was a great game, and in Vancouver it was a great game. But
well, was that in the Guy Lafleur days? from
I don't
Montreal?
remember.
Was that in the 70s?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was only like about 2003, 2004.
Oh, okay. That was way.
I saw
yeah.
the Russians in USA at Madison Square Garden, and that was quite an event.
Was that
before the Olympics?
Yeah, before the Olympics, when they had when the Russians came here and they toured and they were playing them, and
that's awesome.
They played them at yeah, it was great.
You got to see them blow. You got to see them get blown out.
They did
before before they won a gold a few weeks later.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Funny. Yeah.
Well, Chipper is known for going to all the major events and not paying for a ticket.
Well, I'm not being comped either. Remember that.
No, you just find a way in. I don't know how the hell you do that.
I've been thrown out enough times too, Jim. But nowadays, security is so redundant, and if they grab you, they're going to detain you because of the terrorist threats, and they don't know if you're just a foil to set up for something else. So it's different now when if you try to say sneak into a Super Bowl.
What happened in that Laker-Houston game on Game 6? Why was there a blowout?
I think
Houston had just no offense at all. I mean, they just couldn't score.
I think it goes back to the fact that you get these young guys that are still learning the game at the high level, at the NBA level, and there's a point at which in almost every competitive sport, when you get to a certain level, you're almost not ready to win. You have to learn how to win.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have that leadership they needed. And they needed a guy like Durant to be on the floor to give them that leadership. And of course, some of these guys just haven't shown up in these tournaments, which is kind of crazy. But they get hurt at a certain time of year and they just say, hey, screw it. We're not going to go anywhere anyway. So we just sit out. But I think that's the youth. I think we saw it with their Orlando too. I think we saw them just cave in. They're almost not ready to win.
That's never happened before. We've never seen a situation in a game like that where a team had a 24-point lead.
They were up 24 points and they lost by 14, which is absolutely sick and insane. And I did have my money on the dog there. I lost that one. And of course, the coach lost his job too. So
that Magic team in real time made one basket in 45 minutes.
They missed 23 straight shots.
I know.
I mean, how do you do that? I mean, I can shoot left-handed to make one.
Jim, how do you think this Laker line? I mean, you think OKC 15.5? I mean, do you think the game is playable?
I'd have to take the dog. I can't. I know how good OKC is, and I think they're going to win it all, honestly. But
yeah,
I
mean, the way the Lakers have been playing, that seems like an outrageous number. I mean,
they're just not deep, and Reeves is not really 100%, and Luka's not there, and it's difficult. And I mean, they might run him off the floor. I mean, if they're depending on LeBron and he's getting old, and he could start getting
LeBron try to control the tempo. Why don't he try and just slow it down? And
it's really hard in the NBA with this 24-second clock, and you just don't get away with it as much as you'd like to. It's difficult. I mean, this could be. This is a kind of game where I watch it and see what's going on and what plays they're running and see if they could maintain it and do some live betting.
Jim, would a line like 15.5? Don't you think 213.5 for the total is a little low? I mean.
Well, I think what you're basically saying, Oklahoma City's going to win by a lot and shut down the Lakers almost totally. They probably not get 90 points.
That's what that's what I was thinking. When I looked at this,
that's what I'm seeing.
Looks like a 115-90 game type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are your top picks this week for the NBA, Jim?
Well, I think we've got to go to a couple games we haven't talked about. First of all, I got to take a little bit of a side with Cleveland. I don't know what to do with Lakers and OKC except to say I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet some live action in that game. When I saw the Minnesota game last night against the Spurs, I said to myself, this young man, Wemby, is an amazing talent. and he's going to be something else. But I see that he might be a little too young, and they depend on him a lot. They really depend on him on defense, and they obviously allowed him to shoot 8 or 9 shots from 3-point range, and he wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And they should have said, "Hey, you're not hitting tonight. Go to the bucket and do some work underneath." And they didn't. And I thought that was coaching error. If Minnesota has too much balance for them to be not thought of with respect, and I even though I think the Spurs will play better, and you got to remember this too: when a guy misses 0 for 9 or whatever it was from 3, and they only lose by 2, all they got to do is hit one of them, and they'd have won. Yeah. So it wasn't that bad because their overall balance on their team is pretty good. However, I don't think Minnesota's a team that's going to get blown out. They got a lot of depth, and they got quality players at almost every position. So I'm going to be a little scared with taking. I mean, the 9.5 is the number. I mean, it's ridiculously high. I mean,
Wemby 12 block shots. I mean, that's just absolutely
well. That's a record. Nobody's ever done that.
And he had an off game shooting the ball because he's a very good shooter even from the outside. He's got great touch and agility. I mean, reminds me a little bit of, say, Lou Alcindor and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that is. But I think if he has any kind of shooting night, the Spurs can get this number. Well, I mean, Gobert was great. Don't get me wrong. Gobert really did a great job. I think he scored less than 10 points, and defensively and rebounding was his thing. But like you said, Wembanyama didn't hit any of those shots. And, he's going 6 for 9 and 6 for 8 out there before. So he's got to make some of them. There's
a level that you have to grow to. And I think Wemby is, first of all, he's young, and I don't think he's fully developed physically.
Yeah.
He was on the floor. I'm not talking about playing on the floor. He was laying on the floor probably 20 times in that game.
Jesus.
What does that mean? It means that he's a young, developing body. I mean, obviously, it's 7'3". His legs are thin. He's a thin person. He's going to probably have to put some muscle on. You're playing against guys that are not that much smaller than you. They're 7 foot. They're 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", but they're 280 pounds.
No, you have to lean on him, Jim. There's no question. I mean,
so I think he's going to have to muscle up a little bit over the next couple of years, and he's going to be a monster player as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he could put up with this kind of. He was on the. I swear to God, I didn't count them, but I watched the whole game. I think he was on the floor 20 times. And
you're right about him. He has to get stronger. I mean, but he is quick. He's quick. He's agile.
Oh, he's an amazing talent. I mean, I don't know what this kid in high school that's 7'9". I don't know when he's coming out, but he'll be 6 inches taller. I don't know if he can play. I don't even know his name, but I think in that game, again, I'm gonna play that probably live betting. I like to live bet these games when I really don't know what I'm going to do going into it. But the other game, and I like the Sixers over the Knicks.
Wow, you can stand in the way of a streak.
Well, I think it's an unreasonable streak. I think that if Embiid is able to stand up and still go for the whole game, he's a very difficult player to deal with. And I don't think the Knicks are that much better on a game-by-game basis. I do think they're going to win. I do think they're going to win the East. But I don't think they're going to cover every game as easily as what we just saw. I mean, hell, the last 2 games, they went, 60 points and 30 points, and that's not going to continue.
And Jim, I think I expected Embiid to take game 1 off because of the 3 straight games they had against the Celtics, and he did. I think he had 12 points. He was really non-effective in that game. I think you're going to get a really big effort out of him here, and we'll see if Karl Anthony Towns can handle it. He was a monster against the Celtics, Jim. I mean, he was just I haven't watched as many games intently as I did that one, and I just saw how he put his will on the Celtics. He physically was just so intimidating, and his defense isn't quite what it used to be because he doesn't have the same movement. But he's a beast in there. At least he has been. He's got to have a comeback game because he didn't even show up in Game 1, Jim.
I agree, and coming off these seven game series, that's a lot of intensity, and to go.
And they only had a day off. They started the series real quick.
That's right. They had a disadvantage in rest. There's no question about that, and I think it did show up. I think they're going to bounce back with an effort here.
Okay. So you go Cavs +4, 76ers +7, and the rest will be live wagering.
The rest will be live wagering. Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up with baseball. You have a few picks in Major League Baseball you wanted to share.
Well, yeah, I think I sent them to you. You have them in front of you?
And this is the early game today. The Red Sox and the Tigers. So you're going to take the Tigers in this one.
Yes, I am.
Any particular reason why?
Well, I do like Valdez over Moran. I mean, the price is high, and this is about as high as I go on prices. I basically never go over 160, and these are 155, 154. Some books have it 160. I don't like going that high, but I like the spot.
All right. And then you also like the Cubs hosting Cincinnati.
Well, the Cubs. No, this is another one that's up there in the price, and again, I'm getting locked into some numbers here that I don't like. But I'm looking for, like, Circa has 57 and 157, Superbook 150, or I lost my place, 159. So I'm trying to. It's not a great idea to play big favorites like this because you got to win both of them to win any money.
Right.
I'm mostly.
How about when somebody asks about doing a parlay then with both of them?
You could do that, yes, and it does take your risk away. But I'm not a big favorite better, but there's some days when I just don't see an edge on the dog.
Okay,
Jim, one of the key factors I think in baseball, because it's such a long haul. I mean, 162 games schedule. Is streaks. Even the worst teams have winning streaks. The best teams have losing streaks. I mean, the Mets just lost 11, 12 in a row, was it? And I for the most part, I like to get involved with them. And sometimes you see a team that's had a losing streak and playing well, and then playing poorly. Then all of a sudden they'll win, and they'll sort of like win back all those games they lost. I'm thinking about Philadelphia, and I'm thinking about Seattle today, who is playing against the Braves. The Braves should come back to the pack a little bit. They had the best record in baseball. Now they're on a trip away from home. They just swept Kansas City. I think I like Seattle here. I had them yesterday, and I'll come with them until they get beat. So I'm going to play Seattle today, and I'll always be looking at Philadelphia every day to see if it's a spot because of their horrible start, and now they're trending on the upside. So, streaks to me are important, Jim.
I agree. I totally agree with Seattle. Philadelphia's crossed the line with me at 180, 190. So
I don't do that. We don't lay them numbers.
Now I do play a lot of first fives. When I see pitchers that I really like and see them with good numbers, good statistics, the pitchers don't usually go long anymore because it's a whole routine in baseball. So if I'm betting a game because of the pitchers, because they're good, I'm usually going first five with them.
Jim, I haven't done that, but I really should adapt to it. I mean, opening week, you have a team, you're up 7-1 in the seventh, and you end up losing. And it happens because if you're betting starters, you're really not getting the best of the deal. And I look at this Cleveland team with Gavin Williams, and he's been outstanding, and I thought he'd possibly be a side, but there's a lot of public money on him, and I was a little afraid of it myself, so I just backed off. I used Seattle as my only play in baseball today.
You like Cleveland, and you don't know what to do with it. There's a couple ways. Go Cleveland minus a half a run first five. Or go Cleveland, and I don't know Kolek. I don't know. Yeah. That's a real mystery right there.
I think his first start. I think his debut today.
Okay, so that's a real big question mark. But under normal circumstances, if it's a decent pitcher, you go Cleveland, Kansas City under first five. So you're not going anything past the sixth inning.
Yeah.
So, so I'd say about a third of my bets are first fives, whether it's with a run line or an under.
Well, you bet the first five, and you have the decision. Do you turn around and bet the in game from there?
Oh yeah, you can, of course, because
You're a degenerate, Jim.
If they're well, I am a degenerate, but it's it's really inbred to me because it's been going on for 6 decades, and you're no different, damn it, because you're the same age. Stop picking on me. But if you know the team has a bad bullpen, yeah, you come back and you say, okay, now the bullpen's in there, and they're going to hammer it if they're playing a team that can hit. So you bet the second half over.
Well, you like Cleveland in this game as well, though, Jim, right? At -120.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable price. And you are going up in the air here with the Kolek because we don't know what he's going to do. But Williams, like Chipper said, has been really good.
All right, so there you go. That is going to wrap it up. Chip, it's good that we got yourself a pick here. Seattle is your play of the day.
Yes, it is.
Against the hot Atlanta Braves.
Hey, they were cooled off yesterday.
Oh, they did? Okay. Who did they lose to yesterday?
Seattle.
Oh, so this is the second game of their series. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, is Seattle in first place?
No, they're under 500. They need to sweep. They need to win today and tomorrow against Atlanta to get to 500.
Wow. Okay.
And if they win today, I'll tell you, I'll probably be on them again tomorrow.
They've been disappointing so far this year, coming off of last year and the fact that they were favored in the West this year, but they have not lived up to it.
Is there a reason for that? Have there been injuries or is
Rowley's hurt? He's only got 6 homers.
Okay.
But so they haven't hit. They haven't hit at all.
So they haven't. So basically, that's a team too that you might want to keep an eye on for a streak.
That's exactly why I'm on them now, and I'm looking also to play against Atlanta a little bit, even though they're liable to have a really stellar year.
A reverse
25-10 wasn't anticipated, and now I expect them to come back a little bit.
That makes sense. Okay, there you go. That is going to wrap it up. I'll throw in case anybody does care about hockey. I don't get a chance to give hockey picks, so I'll give a couple of hockey picks. I'll give Anaheim against Las Vegas in Game 2. They're at +133, and the Flyers are +137 in Game 3 at home against Carolina. They're down 2-0 in the series, and they just lost in overtime, so it's going to be basically their whole season in Game 3. So those would be my 2 picks. And Anaheim outplayed Las Vegas last night, and Las Vegas found a way to win. And that's actually what Vegas has been doing a lot lately in overtime. They've been finding ways to win, even though the other team has been actually outplaying them. But they're a veteran team, and that's what veterans teams are able to do in the postseason, especially in hockey when it only takes 1 in overtime.
But that's what Jim was saying about winning experience and having been there and aging while you're playing.
Yep. That's it. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. Jim, you want to close it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chipper, for being here. Thank you, Greg, for producing and being on the panel as well. And this is Dom DeMarcos. We go there live in August for the entire football season and part of the basketball season for about 30 weeks. And we were there yesterday, 9785 West Charleston. Chipper found his way there yesterday. He put on his GPS and got there. And the food is great, Italian food. I don't know. Did John ever go there, Greg? He was supposed to go, but you never gave me a time. And I wasn't going to sit there all day.
Yeah, so, John, I had the feeling that John was probably not in good spirits after the way everything turned out.
The horses didn't go. My horses are still running. I'm hoping they cross the line on Friday. but great Italian food, great staff. The owner, Albert Scali, it is fantastic. It's a good crew and fantastic food. If you're in Las Vegas, go there. If you're visiting Las Vegas, absolutely go there. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.